Chapter 3, Yafael. The four of us walk home in silence, our moods darkening with the sky as Mawu takes over Lisa's reign. Every glance at the dirt marring my yellow caftan sends rage and guilt ripping through me like twin sandstorms through the desert. The only happy one is Faray, who carries a much lighter load than he did this morning. Thanks to my stupid pride. I shove open the wooden door to our hut and look to Mama as she sets down the empty blanket and lights the hearth. I study her face in the flickering firelight. She looks as calm as ever. Isn't she as angry with me as I am with myself? After my brothers fall asleep, I tiptoe to the back of the hut and push aside the purple curtain to find her working on a new pendant. Her shadow looms on the wall, cast upward by the candles on her work table. I approach hesitantly and peer over her shoulder. She's carving a vibrant parrot, green stone, into the shape of a painted wolf. My breath hitches in my throat. Could Mama have known about this morning? I open my mouth to tell her, then close it, my heart heavy as I remember all that's happened since then. Mama, I whisper. Yes, child, I'm sorry. Tears sting my eyelids, and I blink ferociously, willing them back down. I am far too old for tears. Mama sighs, her heartwood stool groans as she turns and opens her arms to me. I snuggle into her lap and inhale the warm, spicy scent of ginger and berberry that always clings to her skin. The familiar scent bears down on my self-control, and suddenly the tears spill out into a sob. You always tell me not to say anything, I say, gasping between sniffles. And the one time I do, something terrible happens. She turns back to the table and picks up a long cord of tan sinew, threading it through two tiny holes at the wolf's head and tail. I've been making this for you, she says, placing the necklace in my palm. I study it with awe, running my fingertips over the etched canals. I don't recognize the type of stone she's used, but it's undeniably beautiful. It would fetch a high price at the market. And she's giving it to me instead, even after we lost so much today. She takes the necklace, tilts my head, and ties the cord around my neck. They have strange beliefs in this village of your father's kin, she continues. They believe the creator, Nana Baluku, gave birth to many twins, one male and one female. They think this is the proper order of things. I nod. Like Mawu and Lisa, the moon and the Sunday. Where I grew up, they are called Mawu Lisa. They are not twins, but rather one being with two faces, neither male nor female, but both at once. One being both male and female. I can hardly wrap my mind around the thought. I try to picture what such a being would look like, but no image will come. Why are you telling me this now? I ask. She takes my hands into her own. You are your father's child, my daughter. You have his boldness, his tenacity, his talent. I return her smile with my own, feeling the soothing swell of pride in my chest at her words. And you have his dimples too, she teases, poking the grooves under my cheekbones. But I am within you as well. She touches my chest tenderly. Grace, compassion, wisdom, father and mother. When you were a child, it was my duty to teach you balance, to teach you restraint, but you are a woman now, and it is up to you to decide who you wish to be. Fresh tears well behind my eyes, but I nod my understanding. Her own eyes glaze over, taking on a faraway look. You have a great destiny, child, great and harrowing, for the world will always fear your strength, but the spirit of the painted wolf remains by your side. Always has it been so, ever since the night you were born, when I heard a wolf howl at the end of my labor. Remember to honor her, and she will guide you on your path. Again, my mind flashes to the little wolf this morning. Anise sinks its claws into my chest. If Papa were here, he'd laugh at Mama's strange words. Don't fill her head with your superstitions, he'd say, swooping her into his arms. Our daughter will make her own destiny, but Papa isn't here. The full force of my exhaustion hits me all at once. I slide down on the floor and rest my head on Mama's lap. Tell me the story again, I plead softly. You're getting too old for this, she chastises, but I can hear the smile in her voice. She clears her throat and begins stroking my hair. Yafael, a great hunter who could invoke the spirits of nature and find his way in the most remote places, had been sailing with the Mages for days on end, discovering new lands and collecting riches. The mages had a great knowledge of the sea and thought themselves its masters, but they had grown arrogant. They'd been out at sea for so long that they ran out of food, and the fish were failing. So they decided to dock on a stretch of coastline where the mountains met the sea to search for animals. Right away, Yafu vanished for 3 days and nights, and no one knew where he had gone. On the 4th day, the Majus found him on the peak of a jagged mountain with his face turned up to the sky. He was calling on the gods with ancestral movements. A spell passed down from his grandfather and his grandfather before him. The warriors watched him in horror, shocked by his dance, for they had no such wisdom of their own. They begged and pleaded for him to stop, to come back down the mountain with them. Only when he had finished the spell did he comply. They returned to the beach to find a giant beast of the sea lying motionless on the shore. Right away, the warriors sprinted over to the carcass, cheering at their sudden good fortune. But Yafo stayed back. The crew ate well that night, until a sickness arose from the meat. Yafu then said to the sickened Majas, "Has it not been that Agbe and Nayete, gods of the seas, are better protectors than your giant gods? My dance was an offering to Agbe and Nayete. They have never failed me." So the men spit out the fish and burned the rest of it, sacrificing the meat to Agbe and Nayete and their giant gods together. After this, there was an abundance of food for the rest of their journey. My eyelids lower as the sound of my mother's voice becomes soothing hum, her words melting together like the images dancing behind my eyelids. "Mama?" I ask, my tongue heavy with the threat of sleep. "Yes?" "Is Papa ever coming back?" I feel her stiffen. I know the answer already. I've asked her many times before, but tonight I need her to say it again. "Before he left to follow his destiny with the Majas, your father promised us that he would return. And there are 2 things that no one, not even the gods, can deny about Yafo. He always gets what he wants, and he always keeps his promises." That night, I dream of the muted thwack of Papa's bow, of his focused gaze through stalks of thistle, of his hands caressing Mama's face. I drift into this world of memory, real and imagined, still clasping the stone wolf in my hand.